When opposition supporters march, it is illegal, but it is completely legal for the NRM supporters to do similar. I wonder if she does not have information in regards to this. And she is busy taking pictures with these security forces, the police, amplifying the message of the chief tormentors while villainizing the innocent Ugandans. Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Uganda Awakening. Today we have to talk about Wangadya. Yeah. Wangadya, the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, because we're talking about a commission that is supposed to literally keep security agencies in check. There is no way we are supposed to be living in a country whereby those that are supposed to be thinking about good governance and fairness, they are complicit. They are literally enablers in this scourge of violence against innocent Ugandans. For those of you who do not know, that once the Uganda Human Rights Commission stood as a beacon protecting the weak, standing with the oppressed, but today under Wangadya, I describe her as a woman from hell, a witch in every sense of the word. If any of you was raised in a village where there were so many conspiracies about witches, I find so many similarities. Don't go pick mangoes in that neighborhood, because the woman around that corner, she's a suspected witch, or the man is a night dancer. We remember those tales and every sort of description that I can recollect from the memories as a little boy. I cannot help but describe Wangadya as a witch. She just seems to be so deceptive in her ways. The commission was created to defend every Ugandan. Yeah. So to check abuse by the powerful, especially the police, army, and prisons, it was not supposed to be isolated to only the interests of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, clearly. But instead of defending victims, the current leadership defends violators. Who would have thought? We have the video from the UN Human Rights Commission. And then on this side, we have the Uganda Human Rights Commission contradicting this video. Let's watch this video.
We deplore the intensifying crackdown on the opposition and media in Uganda ahead of next month's general election. It is deeply regrettable that the election campaigns have once again been marked by widespread arbitrary arrests, detentions, and the use of unnecessary or disproportionate force against the opposition, as well as undue restriction of press freedom. We urge the Ugandan authorities to end the pattern of repression, to cease the use of such repressive tactics, and to enable Ugandans to fully and peacefully exercise their right to participate in their country's public affairs on election day and in its aftermath. All individuals arbitrarily deprived of their liberty should be released. The Ugandan authorities must halt all violence against the media and the opposition and act fully in accordance with their obligations under international human rights law.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard that. Everything she has stated in that very short clip is literally happening in Uganda. And you would think that the woman who lives in the country ahead of this commission that is supposed to be aligned with the same development goals that are enshrined within the UN framework, and, you know, you would think that she would take a similar position, because she's literally closer to what is happening. On a daily basis, we are looking into what is happening in Uganda, and it is very clear that the double standards is so loud. This woman literally sees videos of fellow women being disgraced. And you wonder, does Wangadya really have relatives? Does she really have relatives? Just imagine for her, what would she feel if any of her relatives are embroiled in the same mess that so many innocent Ugandans are embroiled in? Who would have thought? Are you still thinking that it was outrageous of me to state that this woman is a devil's incarnate? Well, let's go. Wangadya's public remarks praising peace and order sound empty in a country where people's peace is enforced with tear gas, batons, and fear. Not to mention all the intimidation that we are witnessing as the campaigns for Ugandans to choose the next president come next month in January unfold. We are witnessing the double standards unfolding before our own eyes. And for her to state that, oh yeah, peace. May I remind you, Madam Wangadya, peace does not mean absence of war. Although in our case, we feel like we are literally on a battleground. I mean, look at all these men and women in uniform blocking a legitimate presidential candidate from accessing his people and presenting his manifesto. On the other hand, we are seeing mobilization of processions in which this so-called Inspector General of Police has called out that we don't allow procession. The ruling party, the NRM, is literally funding. It's going even the extra mile of funding detractors to attack NUP supporters. Yeah, you've seen the ghetto structures doing these people. When the regime supporters block roads, it is patriotic mobilization. Make it make sense. When citizens demand justice, they are warned to stay calm and avoid provocation. This is incredibly disturbing. It really is. But when the security forces beat, humiliate, and arrest them, it is written off as maintaining order. Just imagine for her, what would she feel if any of her relatives are embroiled in the same mess? Most of the Gen Z, she's old enough to be even their grandchildren. All these Gen Zs that are being whisked away, dragged into military vehicles, beaten senseless while holding the national flag. You might think that beating people into submission of supporting the ruling party has just started. Well, it has its history. Remember the days of the border 2010? Remember those goons who used to beat up people? Remember Kakoza Mutale, a bus full of goons and people with sticks still beating people. It is synonymous with the NRM because even the president himself, the chairperson of the National Resistance Movement, has come out, is on record in stating that he is the master, that the party is the master of violence. Yet we quickly forget those words and jump onto the back of Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. The man has to campaign in full gear of bulletproof and helmet to protect himself because of every attempt that has been made in trying to unalive him, to end his life. It is well documented. Awareness, by the way, is key. Most Ugandans, I don't think, found any value in awareness until the rise of the People Power movement. How Ugandans take awareness so seriously. Influencers aligning with the opposition dish out security alerts after getting intel about the threats that they might face on the campaign trail. Evidence is already there online. For example, when the people's president was heading to Masaka, there was information about goons going to dress up as NUP supporters, and their task is very simple: go and steal from small businesses, antagonize campaign. Bobby Wine had to write this on his own socials to alert the people to remain vigilant and isolate whoever has the audacity of committing such crimes. All this evidence is there, but the Uganda Human Rights Commission is napping when it comes to these issues, but fully awake when it comes to talking about the law. I want to conclude this video by stating these words of Wangadya when she branded youth supporters organizing around opposition candidates as unlawful and dangerous political foot soldiers that must be disbanded immediately, insisting that only the police should control election security, is why I conclude that she's a witch. Yeah. Look at what these other goons are doing. It is directly the opposite of what the members of the National Unity Platform is doing. People are awake. People are no longer sleeping. People can see through the double standard and they are pushing back, which is why, regardless of how much of the intimidation that they face from the police and all security agencies, to the point that even prison warders are attending opposition campaigns, all security agencies are out there. Imagine the budget Let me know what you think about this woman. In one word, how would you describe Wangadya? For real. Let me know. Cheers, guys. Bye.